What's going on, everyone? Bringing it back for another Legion talk. So a lot of data mining has been going on. Lots and lots of data mining. There's beta builds that are being chopped away by the dwarves over at MMO Champion and Wowhead. And finally, the latest build, we actually have a lot of new abilities that we can now go over. Class abilities we've never heard of before, all the new stuff that we're going to see, all the new abilities, and what they've removed, what they've added. So we're going to start with Paladin. This is going to be one of those videos where it's going to be a little, how do we say, elongated, a lot of reading. But, you know, come along, read with me, with my illiterate self, and we can get through some of these. So I'm going to start with Paladin. I'm going to try my best to try and do these you know, as much as I can every single day. I know I said I would do a shit ton of them. I would do every class, but I'm gonna try to stick to the 10 classes first because information is coming out so quickly, and I want to get in on this too, man. Like, I want to learn how to do this data mining. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to download, you know, like a model viewer so I can show you like the improved version of Gul'dan, Incredible Hulk, and all these other new models like the Bolvar Fort. You know, spoiler shit. All right, let's get right to it. There's a lot of abilities to get through here, as you can see. Where does it start? Paladin. So here we go. These are normal spell changes. Nothing here is really important. Just a bunch of, you know, damage numbers up and down, percentages up and down. What we really want to look at is something like this. Abilities that they have removed from Paladin. So first of all, in this list here, I do not see Hammer of Wrath. So Blizzard, we're good right now. We're fucking good, dude. We have Turn Evil removed. Blessing of Might is removed. Seal of Insight, obviously for Holy, all specs. Blessing of Kings removed. Censure removed. Rest in peace, Censure. I like that, man. The Censure dots were so amazing. Seal of Truth removed. Word of Glory removed. Seal of the Righteousness removed. Seal of Command removed. Glyph of Avenging Wrath removed. Word of Glory, Harsh Word, Word of Glory removed. Those are all like the different variants of Word of Glory. So here's where we have all the new talents and specializations. These are all new specializations we have here. Some of them sound familiar, but they work a little differently. So let's start. Let's start the party, man. You guys ready? Fucking ready? I'm calm. All right, let's do this. I'm kind of excited. So Hand of Hindrance. We're still going with the whole hand thing, you know, hand of this, hand of that. Hand of Hindrance places a hand on an enemy target, reducing movement speed by 70% for 10 seconds. Yeah. Hand of Light. Place a hand on an enemy target, healing you for 3% each time the target takes damage. Up to once per second. If the target dies with this hand active, you will heal for 40%. You will heal for 40% last 10 seconds. And that effect lasts 10 seconds. I think the 40% heal. Now, that's pretty cool. I mean, I can imagine how that's going to be on PvP. Like, if you're a Holy Paladin, you just, like, go ahead and Hand of Light. It seems like these hands are like judgments. They're like seals. It seems like that's the replacement for seals. Now we're bringing back auras. Auras are something that I really liked back in the day. Auras were cool. Devotion aura, you're going to see it come back. Aura of Mercy is the first one we see here. And if I hover over, and once again, this is Holy. This is actually a Retribution ability for Ret. Hindrance is Ret. I'm not sure if it requires you to be completely Ret. I don't know. We'll see how it goes once we get into the beta. But I forgot to hover over. And once again, thank you to Wowhead for providing all of this wonderful information. Wowhead and MMO Champion have been going crazy back and forth. Like, MMO Champion has all the cool art. Wowhead is just giving us all the abilities. This is really amazing. So this is a Holy. Requires Paladin Holy. Aura of Mercy. Allies within 10 yards heal 1% of maximum health every 5 seconds. Now you can imagine how amazing that's going to be when Holy Paladins are like into melee, doing their whole melee, getting close to the tanks kind of healing. Aura of Light. Noted as Holy. Allies within 10 yards receive 10% increased healing. Devotion Aura. Allies within 10 yards take 10% reduced magical damage. Retribution Aura. This is a I mean, it's called Retribution, but it's Retribution Aura. When any party or raid member within 40 yards dies, you gain 100% increased damage for 10 seconds. It's going to be great in 5-mans. I mean, literally, like, if we're fighting, like, a boss in a challenge mode and we want to get, like, a bigger, like, keystone or whatever, I would just be like, all right, well, one of you guys, can you just jump into fucking lava so we all get 100%, so our, you know, our Paladin gets 100% increased damage for 10 seconds? I'd appreciate that. And then just battle res them, you know? Judgment of Light. Your judgment applies Judgment of Light to the target, causing the next something successful, the next whatever amount of successful attacks against the target to heal the attacker for whatever amount. This effect can only occur once every few seconds on each target. Tower of Light, which I believe is also holy. All heals cast by other members of your party or raid also heal your Beacon of Light for 10% of the amount healed. Additionally, all healing you cause on your Beacon of Light is increased by 100% last 10 seconds. I'll put this sucker on vibrate. Pretty cool. The Mastery is Lightbringer. We talked about this earlier in their Paladin preview. Proximity to your target causes your spells to heal up to 12% more. Light of the Martyr is a sacrifice 0 of your own health to instantly heal an ally for 400% of spell power. It cannot be cast on yourself. Light of the Protector. This is actually I think it is a prot ability. Yeah. Light of the Protector calls down the light to heal yourself for 50% of your missing health. Pretty good heal. As hard, I believe that one has charges too. Divine Intervention, DI, makes a return. So you bastards take away Hammer of Wrath, but you want to give us back DI. Any attack which would kill you instead reduces you to 20% of your maximum health and triggers Divine Shield. Cannot occur while Divine Shield is on cooldown or Forbearance is active. So basically, it's like a cheat death. So if you have your Divine Shield up and you don't have a Forbearance on you, and you get one shot by the boss, let's say, what is this for prot? It says for holy. I guess for holy, and you just get wrecked, then you stay alive and you automatically pop Divine Shield on yourself. It's like the game plays for you. Checkers, boys. Blade of Justice. Strike an enemy with the Blade of Justice, dealing 135% holy damage and generating 2 holy power. Obviously, that's a rep move because they have holy power. We don't. Shield of Vengeance is another retribution ability. Pretty cool. Requires level 30. Creates a barrier of holy light that absorbs that amount of damage for 15 seconds. When the barrier is consumed or expires, all damage absorbed is dealt back to your current melee target as holy damage. Conviction, which is also a red ability. Your Crusader Strike and Blade of Justice have 20% chance to generate 1 additional holy power. So that's how you're going to probably keep on generating holy power and not have any gaps between your rotation. Redoubt, which is protection. This is for prot. Your auto-attack critical strikes cause you to gain a charge of Shield of the Righteous or Light of the Protector. Kind of like we were talking about before, where, stacking crit might be beneficial for prot paladins because we're just going to keep getting our charge of Shield of the Righteous and Light of the Protector. Now, this is pretty cool. This was taken out of the Diablo 3 book. Divine Steed, Protection, 1 minute cooldown. This is a prot ability. Summons your Holy Charger to ride for 4 seconds. Increasing movement speed by 100%, usable while indoors or in combat. So basically, we got our own little 4-second stampeding roar as prot. I believe that was one of the Crusader abilities, because I remember I leveled my Crusader to max in Diablo 3. That was an ability where, like, you summoned your horse and you ran through the enemies, but you were, like, really fast too. So I think that's really cool. So we're going to have, like, our own little stampeding roar on a 1 minute cooldown. And that's pretty good. That kind of gives prop paladins decent mobility. In case we got to move the boss really fast somewhere, I could just pop the steed, book it somewhere, kite the boss if I have to for 4 seconds. Then we have Daybreak, which is a holy ability. Reduces the cooldown of Light of Dawn by 3 seconds. Stoicism, I think I pronounced that right. Holy, reduces the damage you take from Light of the Martyr by 30%. Crusader's Might. Your successful Crusader Strike grants you Crusader's Might, increasing the effect of the Lightbringer by 12%. That's holy. Beacon of the Lightbringer for holy. The maximum bonus from Mastery Lightbringer is increased by 24% and it now increases your healing based on the target's proximity to either you or the Beacon of Light, whichever is closer. Divine Purpose, which you've seen in prot, looks like it's now holy. Light of Dawn and Holy Shock have a 20% chance to not start their cooldown. Divine Hammer is a retribution ability. Divine Hammers spin around the Paladin, damaging enemies within 8 yards for 40% holy damage instantly and every 2 seconds for 8 seconds, generates 1 holy power, replaces your Blade of Justice. Execution Sentence, still the same. A hammer slowly falls from the sky, causing that calculation, holy damage over 10 seconds, culminating in a final burst. And that is also red. Mass Judgment, this looks new. I don't think this has been done before, and it sounds amazing. Mass Judgment, your judgment spells, your judgment spell affects all enemies within 8 yards of the target and increases the duration by 100%. What is that, red? Have fun. Final Verdict increases damage done by Templar's Verdict by 15%. Beacon of Hope. Place a Beacon of Hope at the target location after 3 seconds, or when you take damage, you will be sent to the beacon. That's holy. That's crazy. So, okay, so you place a Beacon of Hope at the... let's see, I'm a Holy Paladin. I'm targeting Towelliee. For some reason, I place a Beacon of Hope at Towellee's location. After 3 seconds, or when you take damage, the Holy Paladin, you will be sent to the beacon. Never do that with a tank, by the way. That probably wouldn't be nice. Towelliee's Might. Finally, the name got changed. I think it used to be, what was it called? It was Lothar's Might. He was a warrior. So Towelliee's Might. Fling a blade of holy light to the target location, dealing 1 holy damage instantly, and every 2 seconds to enemies within 8 yards for 8 seconds. Reactivating the ability will cause the paladin to charge to the blade, damaging enemies in the area for 1 holy damage, ending the effect. Obviously, the numbers are probably need to be updated, but it's pretty much like Tyrion's ability in Heroes of the Storm, where he throws his sword and then you teleport to it and do damage around you. Fist of Justice, for holy. Your judgment reduces the remaining cooldown of Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds. For Prot Ret, your spells that consume holy power reduce the remaining cooldown of Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds. What the hell's the cooldown on it to begin with? Like, what the fuck? Is it like a 2-minute cooldown on your fucking Fist of Justice now? Alright, now we're getting some really cool abilities. Pretty soon. We're going to get into the prot stuff soon. The way I'm going to do this video is I'm going to put a little thing underneath that says, you know, between this time and this time, it's going to be holy shit. Between this time and this time, a lot of prot shit. Judgment of the Bold for Ret. Increases the damage bonus effect of your judgment by 10%. The Might of Virtue for Ret. Your judgment ability generates 1 holy power. Holy Bolt for holy. Increase the damage and healing of Holy Shock by 30%. For Holy Bolt. It's a passive talent, by the way. Beacon of the Savior for holy. Dealing damage with Crusader Strike, Judgment, Holy Shock, Denounce, or auto attacks also heals your Beacon of Light for whatever percent. That's pretty cool, man. It seems like Holy Paladins are going to become kind of like this upfront, in the boss's face healer. The way it sounds. Because the closer you are to your healing targets, based on your mastery and your passive, the more healing you do. The damage you do with your Crusader Strike and Judgment, even though you can judge from far away, who cares? I mean, it seems like Paladins are going to be like in the melee with the tanks, doing healing right in there. That's what I'm getting. Here we go. Reprisal for Holy. Here's another one. Melee attacks against you cause your Crusader Strike to deal 200% additional damage. That might be like some sort of like proc. You might see like a little weak aura pop up on the WoW UI for that. Crusader Flurry. 1 second cooldown. An instant strike that causes 105 physical damage, retribution, and grants 1 holy power. 3 charges, replaces Crusader Strike. So you have a Crusader Strike replacement. Blade of Wrath for Ret. Strikes an enemy with the Blade of Wrath, dealing 85% holy damage and generating 1 holy power, replaces Blade of Justice. So now we have Virtue's Blade, increasing the damage done by Blade of Justice by 20%. Looks like a passive. Seal of Light. So I guess Ret gets to keep Seal of Light, but we don't as Holy. And it seems like Ret just kept everything, and Holy and Prot was just like, throw that shit out. Draws upon the Paladin's Holy Energy to increase attack speed by 35% and movement speed by 10%, lasts 30 seconds. The Fires of Justice increases damage done by Crusader Strike by 25%. Zeal. Zeal is an instant strike that causes 100% physical damage and grants 1 holy power. Grants Zeal, increasing your attack speed by 20% and causes Zeal to chain to an additional nearby target per stack, replaces Crusader Strike. Seems like you can replace Crusader Strike with a bunch of shit, depending if it's like an AoE or a single target fight. Holy Wrath fires holy bolts at the target, causing whatever spell power and holy damage, and restoring 5% of the paladin's health over 2.25 seconds, and deals 50% additional damage to stun targets. So it seems like Holy Wrath actually heals you now. Is that, I can't tell if that's new or old, or I know for Prot it doesn't fucking heal you back. So I think now we're getting into the protection abilities here. I think what we have here is, yeah, a lot of prot abilities, and you're going to love... I mean, I'm actually excited. I know I said I'm going to do a Demon Hunter. I know I said I'm going Demon Hunter for the expansion, but I got to do some of this prot stuff, man. You guys ready? Here we go. So if you don't want to hear me talk about Ret or Holy, by this point you kind of already have, but if you're up to this point of the video, we're talking about prot now. So I'll put the seconds in the video when I start talking about prot, and you guys can just go there, because some people just want to hear me talk about prot sometimes. Let's get to it. First Avenger requires level 15. Increases the damage of Avenger Shield by 100%. And increases the chance for its cooldown to be reset by abilities and talents by 100%. And it now hits only one target. What that chance is, I don't know, but it seems like a replacement for Focus Shield. But I don't know what the chance of it resetting is. I mean, it seems like we're going to be hitting Avenger Shield a lot, but that's a cool ability. This is probably the best change I have ever seen to Protection Paladins, probably 7 years. Day of Reckoning. Hand of Reckoning, which is our taunt, now has 3 charges. So we have 3 taunt charges. I don't know what's the cooldown on this thing. I don't know what the cooldown is. Additionally, targets affected by Hand of Reckoning deal 10% less physical damage to you. Now, I know I've said before that it would be awesome if prot paladins were to be viable in PvP by using their defensive abilities to help others. So I think, like, if this makes it to PvP, that'd be pretty cool, that I could just, like, kind of taunt a mage and he deals 10% less damage to me. But it is physical damage, so it'd probably only be useful on, like, Death Knights, Warriors, Rogues, and a few others. But still, I mean, that's still awesome. Having 3 charges of Hand of Reckoning, because God knows we fucking needed it. Consecrated Hammer. Your Hammer of the Righteous always gains the damage bonus of Consecration and no longer has a cooldown. Is that a passive? So your Hammer of the Righteous always gains the damage bonus of Consecration and no longer has a cooldown. That's pretty cool. Last Defender. This one is like out of control. Each enemy within 8 yards causes you to take 3% reduced damage. I mean, I'm thinking right off the bat, Keystone Challenge modes, Paladins win. I mean, just pull an entire room. You should take 100% reduced. I mean, you'd have to pull, like, what, 33 mobs to take almost 100% reduced damage. But, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see where this is a really great talent for, like, chain pulling dungeons, challenge mode, Keystone Challenge modes, whatever it is. Mythic dungeons, if they still have it, and all that other shit. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. AoE encounters, like when you're doing AoE fights for bosses where you have to tank like 3 or 4 ads or something like that. Maybe, I'm thinking maybe like Ishkar or something. That's a great talent right there, or whatever ability. Retribution Aura for prot. You deal blank holy damage to an enemy whose melee attack strikes an ally within 60 yards. This damage generates additional threat. Pretty cool. Blessing of Salvation temporarily removes all threat from the target and causes all additional threat generated to be transferred to the casting paladin. Last 10 seconds. There we go. That's pretty cool. Blessing of Negation. That's completely new. Places a blessing on a party or raid member, protecting them from all magical attacks for 10 seconds. Cannot be used on a target with Forbearance. Causes Forbearance for 30 seconds. So that's on a 3-minute cooldown. It seems like it's a lot for a 3-minute cooldown, and you're only allowed to place it on one person. I know that, I mean, here's my thing. Let's say, you know, we're tanking a boss. 1-2 punch combo, tanking here. I'll use Psycho Mantis, one of the tanks in Death Jesters. I can't use it on myself, so... Or can I? Can I use it on myself? I don't know if I can use it on myself. But, it doesn't look like I can. We're about to take a huge magical hit. He doesn't have a cooldown. He needs to survive the hit. Maybe it's one of those LOS attacks, you know, like an LOS magical AoE attack. Everyone runs behind a pillar. We could probably just leave the tank where he is, not have to move the boss, give him the Hand of Negation for 10 seconds, and he takes no magical damage at all. Because this is all magical damage. I mean, we'll find a way to use it. I'm not sure if I can use it on myself. I can use it on myself. That's an OP cooldown, but we'll see. Blessed Hammer, another Diablo 3 ability there. Throw a Blessed Hammer that spirals outward, dealing 0 holy damage to enemies that it hits and causing them to deal 10% less damage to the Paladin for 4 seconds. Replaces Hammer of the Righteous. I'll probably use that. Crusader's Judgment. When you cast Judgment, you have a 50% chance of refreshing the cooldown of Avenger's Shield. Another Avenger's Shield refreshing ability. Divine Bulwark instantly grants 3 charges of Shield of the Righteous. And that is on a 3-minute cooldown. It seems like these cooldowns are really long. Like, that seems like 3 minutes. I would make that 2. I would go back and make Hand of Negation like 2. 3 just seems outrageous. Here we go. Consecrated Ground. This is pretty amazing. This takes coordination. Allies standing within your consecration receive 20% additional healing. So I consecrate the boss. If any of my melee are just standing in it, you take 20%. You receive 20% additional healing, and enemies within your consecration have 50% reduced movement speed. Pretty awesome. Righteous Protector. Each time you use Shield of the Righteous, your remaining cooldown of Light of the Protector is reduced by 3 seconds. Final Stand for protection. Reduces the cooldown of Divine Shield by 50%. What is that, a passive? I don't know what that is. It's an ability. And when you use Divine Shield, you also taunt all targets within 15 yards for 8 seconds. Which I think is pretty cool, because Divine Shield, I believe, lasts 8 seconds. And usually when you hit Divine Shield, you lose aggro on all targets. It'll go to the next person on the aggro list. So because you bubble... or because that reduces the cooldown of Divine Shield. Yeah, so basically I can bubble, taunt everything around me, and never lose aggro on it, because they should still be on me after the duration of Divine Shield is over, if I'm doing it right in my head. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Then we have Knight Templar. This is pretty cool. Reduces the cooldown on Divine Steed by 50%, which is already a minute cooldown, so we're talking 30 seconds on Divine Steed, and reduces all damage taken while mounted on your Divine Steed by 20 seconds. Yeah. Aegis of Light. Raise an Aegis of Light, reducing all damage taken by 20% for you and all allies standing within 10 yards behind you for 6 seconds. How does that work? Behind me? Did they really have to be behind me? Like, I really don't know how that one's going to work. Honestly, if I'm tanking a boss, and maybe if we're like all standing in front of the boss for like a cleave attack or something, I don't know. Whatever. Eye for an eye. This is a retribution ability. Instantly counterattack any enemy that strikes you in melee for 12 seconds. Melee attacks made from behind cannot be countered. A counterattack maximum of 10 counterattacks. Blaze of Light. Retribution, a quick and powerful heal, healing a friendly target for 575% of your spell power, replaces Flash of Light. And then Guardian's Light, which is protection, increases the healing from Light of the Protector by 20%. So those are basically like the new abilities for like Holy Ret and Prot that we have right now. Once again, none of this is final. None of this is final at all. So you got to remember that. You know, any of this could change. Timers can change. Percentages can change. The cooldown of a lot of abilities. But you know what? I mean, if I had to tell you right now, what I'm most stoked about as a prop paladin, for sure, is definitely the Hand of Reckoning with 3 charges. Because if that works in PvP, that'd be such a cool way to implement prots into PvP. Last Defender, where all the enemies within 8 yards hit you, you take 3% reduced damage. And Blessing of Negation is really cool. I guess I can see where you would want to bring a paladin to help negate this kind of damage. You know, to an off tank or a healer who needs it or something. So, I mean, that's basically it. And these are all just specialization changes. Nothing really new here. But once again, you can go to Wowhead right now and just look up all this information. But I kind of like going over it, you know, going over all this with you guys out there in YouTube land. Once again, in my description, I will go ahead and let you guys know where the actual prot talk starts. Because I know sometimes I can just babble on and you're just like, oh my god, Tyler. Oh, still talking about Holy and Ret. No one gives a fuck. What are us paladins going to do for prot? So I'll fast forward you guys and the information to that. But I just want to make sure that I cover all the angles for all the new abilities. And yeah, I mean, just keep going to these websites like MMO Champion and Wowhead.com just to look at all the new info, man. Because there's so much stuff. Right now, I'm going to go because it's been about 24 minutes, 25 minutes on this video. It's been a long fucking time. Thank you for checking it out. And come join the beta hype with us. Right now we're going through a huge beta hype on my channel. Last couple of days have been pretty fucking insane. And we're all just waiting to get into the beta. I actually have the 7.0.1 client downloaded, but obviously we can't log in because no one's flagged yet. So, and login screen is like an old vanilla login screen, so it's useless trying to show you. But yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how to use a model viewer, because I want to show you like some of the models of like all these like new enemies coming in Legion. And I hope you guys are enjoying all the videos. I mean, it looks like you are. You guys are leaving some really cool comments. I'm trying to take all the constructive criticism and feedback as much as I can. Obviously, when you say, fat fuck, identifier, fat cunt, motherfucker, that for me is not constructive criticism. I just kind of delete those. But if you guys have any advice at all, you know, by all means, give it to me. And that's pretty much about it. This is Towelliee. Twitch.tv/Towelliee on Twitch. Come see me every day, every morning. I'm there for you guys, man. Let's rock this shit. I'ma taunt you motherfuckers all day and get my 10% damage reduct. See you in PvP, bitches.